Please consider supporting the Proctor Mindset channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video with those you care about. Your support allows us to continue creating content that can transform lives. Have you ever noticed how some people manage to multiply their income, while others remain stuck in the same financial pattern for decades? There's one element that separates those who get rich from those who struggle to make ends meet, year after year. It's not luck, or connections, or an inheritance. It's something much deeper that most people completely ignore. My name is Bob Proctor, and at 87 years old, I can say with absolute certainty that I discovered this secret while I was broke and buried in debt. What I am about to share with you today transformed my life, from a person who earned £7,400 a year and owed £9,200 to an entrepreneur who built a multi-million-pound empire. But let's be clear from the start, this isn't a magic formula or a shortcut. This is a fundamental truth that governs all wealth creation. And if you don't master it, you will continue to repeat the same financial patterns your entire life. The first thing to understand is that you possess mental faculties that set you apart from every other life form on this planet. You are the highest form of creation. But most people live as if they're equal to animals, reacting only to their five senses. Let me explain something that changed my perspective forever. When I started my cleaning business, I had no experience, no money, and no formal education. I only had a bucket, a mop, and something most people don't use, my imagination. Imagination is the most powerful mental faculty you possess. Napoleon Hill called it the most powerful and inconceivably potent force you will ever know. Your imagination can take you anywhere you want to go. It can create a completely new life for you. But here's the problem, 99% of people use their imagination against themselves. They imagine everything that could go wrong. They imagine bills they can't pay. They imagine failure. You must reverse this immediately. Start imagining that everything is getting better. I have a license plate on my car that says, "Expect what you want." Expect the situation to change for the better. Your imagination must work for you, not against you. The second faculty that will transform your relationship with money is perception. If you're facing a financial problem, you must change your perception of it. When you change your perception, everything changes. Earl Nightingale taught me a powerful technique when I worked with him. He said, if you have a problem that seems impossible to solve, write it down on a piece of paper and place it in the center of your desk. Sit down and look at it. Then, go to the other side of the desk and look at the problem from that angle. Keep changing positions and ask yourself, how would Edison see this? How would Henry Ford solve this situation? I did this repeatedly when I was building my business. When I didn't know how to get more contracts, I changed my perception. Instead of seeing obstacles, I started seeing opportunities. In less than a year, I had contracts worth £2,300 a month, which grew to £19,000 a month. Your perception determines your financial reality. Change the way you see money. Change the way you see opportunities, and your financial reality will automatically change. The third faculty is your willpower, your ability to hold an idea on the screen of your mind, to the exclusion of everything else. Observe great professional golfers. They have developed a highly evolved willpower. They can focus on their goal and nothing can disturb them. Here is a practical exercise that will change your ability to concentrate. Light a candle and place it in front of you. Sit comfortably and focus only on the flame. See how long you can remain focused without your mind wandering. It will probably be 2 or 3 seconds, and that would already be a record for a beginner. But keep practicing. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the flame. You are developing your willpower, your ability to focus your energy. Do you know what happens when you focus? You create power. There is energy flowing through you, and when you concentrate it, you empower that energy. It's like the difference between the scattered light of a candle and the same light concentrated in a lantern. With a concentrated lantern, you can read every word clearly. You also possess a perfect memory. Yes, perfect. Harry Lorraine, who has the most trained memory in the world, once memorized an entire Time magazine during a flight from New York to Toronto, and then demonstrated it by using the magazine in Toronto. It was phenomenal. I had a psychiatrist from Saudi Arabia in one of my seminars who taught people how to memorize the entire Quran. Imagine memorizing the entire Quran. You have this ability, it just needs to be developed. Your intuition is your ability to pick up on vibrations and translate them in your mind. You can feel what the other person is thinking. You can pick up on others' energy. Have you ever had the feeling that you should call someone? And just as you thought about it, the phone rang, and it was that exact person. That's your intuition at work, and your reason gives you the ability to think, the highest function you are capable of. Unfortunately, throughout your schooling, nothing is taught about this. We are only instructed on our sensory factors. We are now getting to the heart of everything. Albert Einstein said something that will change your life if you truly understand it. Everything is energy, and that's all there is. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you can only get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. You must understand that there is a frequency for everything you desire. There is a frequency for money, a frequency for that new house, for that car, for that trip you want to take. You must harmonize your energy with that frequency. How do you do that? You literally fall in love with the idea of what you want. When you hold that idea in your mind, you will start to move towards it, and it will start to move towards you. I remember a friend who told me, when you set a goal and start moving towards it, it will start moving towards you. At the time, I thought, how on earth can that happen? It happens because you are on the same frequency. Everything that is on that frequency will come into your life. This is where most people fail. They live with A-type goals, only doing what they already know how to do. It's like a guy who told me his goal was to buy a new car. I asked him what car he had. He said it was a 4-year-old Ford. I said, you bought a new Ford 4 years ago. You already know how to do that. That's not a goal. Then there are B-type goals. Doing what you think you can do. That's not enough either. What you need is a C-type goal. What you really want, even if you have no idea how to get it. This is the kind of attitude that will give you everything you want. It gave me a multi-million-pound income. I'm 87 years old, and I'm still in great shape. Age has nothing to do with it. It's your attitude. Let me tell you how this worked in my life. I started with no formal education, no business experience, and no money. I was earning £7,400 a year and owed £9,200. A man told me I should work for myself. I took a bucket and a mop and started a cleaning business. I got a contract for £23 a month, then another for £100 a month. Within a few months that year, I had £19,000 a month in contracts. Annually, that came to £264,000 a year. In less than 5 years, I had offices operating in Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Cleveland, Atlanta, and London in England. My income had exceeded £1,500,000 a year. This doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. It happens when you align your mind with the laws that govern wealth creation. The secret lies in your mental attitude. It's not who you are that's holding you back, it's who you think you're not. Most people don't believe in the power they possess, and that's quite sad. You must establish a clear image of what you want in your mind. I have an image in my mind right now, and I'm focused on the same goal as one of our senior executives. We're both focused on it, which gives it more power. We are limited only by a lack of attention and poverty of imagination. So, let's make our imagination work and then truly focus. Steve Jobs taught us something fundamental. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. In other words, you can't see what you need to do to get there. You just have to believe that you can get there. And when you believe, strange things happen. The path will be shown. From the Wright brothers' 14-second flight on the 17th of December, 1903, to man landing on the moon on the 20th of July, 1969, there were only 979 months. From Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, to the moon. If they succeeded in doing that with aviation, imagine what you can do with your financial life when you apply the same principles. Your mind is your workshop. If you are observant, you will see your external reality molding itself to the pattern of your imagination. It's truly magical when you understand how it works. For years, I carried a recording of Earl Nightingale with me. I listened to that recording thousands of times. It's the repetition of an idea that makes the difference. If you want to change your paradigm, if you want to change your life, immerse yourself in these ideas. Repetition is what will make the difference. When you move to a higher frequency, you will communicate with a world that is totally strange and beyond the reach of your five senses. People will think you've gone crazy. They'll say, he thinks he can become a millionaire, and he's broke. That's exactly where I was. I thought I could become a millionaire, and I was broke. Do you know why it worked? Because I had the right mentors telling me, keep going, Bob, you can do it. A frequency is a level of vibration. There is an infinite number of frequencies, endless. Start counting, and you can never stop. Each frequency connects to the one above and the one below. That's how you can connect from one frequency to another. You just move from one to the other. Imagine you are here at this point in your financial life. You can see how you got here. Now, think about where you lived 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 1 year ago. Each of these levels represents a different frequency in your life. You have raised yourself to that level of awareness. Now, think for a moment. You want something far beyond where you are. You say, that's where I want to go, but you have no idea how to get there. To move to a much higher frequency of thought, you must first consent. That means you must decide. I can't do this for you, even though I'd love to do it for my brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, nephews, nieces, and grandchildren. You have to do it for yourself. To move to a much higher frequency, you must consent, and then you must adapt to the ideas and feelings that the new frequency represents. Remember when you changed schools? The energy was different. You had to adapt to the new frequency. When you started at a new company, you didn't know anyone. People looked and said, that's the new one. You had to adapt to the new frequency. At the mere suggestion of a change, your paradigm will instantly create a huge battle and will continually fight against you. You must take conscious control of the paradigm and suppress it and replace it. The paradigm is that idea that is in your subconscious mind. It began to be built when you were a baby. But before that, even before you were born, it was being built at the moment of conception when the genetic information connected. All your mother's DNA and all your father's DNA came together and created your DNA. That's part of your paradigm. It goes back to your parents and your grandparents. Paradigms are powerful. Trying to change the paradigm is difficult. A paradigm is our usual way of looking at life, our usual way of living. You must change the paradigm. The moment your belief corresponds to any state, you merge with it. This union results in the activation and projection of your plans, conditions, and circumstances. Think seriously about what we're talking about here. The moment your belief corresponds to any state, you have this magnificent idea. You're studying, you're thinking, I'm going to succeed at this. How do you merge with that? You act like the person you want to become. Any personal development course you study will say this, act like the person you want to become. The moment your belief corresponds to any state, you merge with it. You become one with it. This union results from the activation and projection of your plans, conditions, and circumstances. The law of attraction, everything falling into place. This awakened state of consciousness becomes your home, the place from which you see the world. But remember, that old paradigm tries to stop you. So you must understand that while you are making this new concept your new mental home, your old paradigm is trying to create a battle. Your new awakened consciousness becomes your home from which you see the world, your mind, and your workshop. If you are observant, you will see your external reality molding itself to the pattern of your imagination. I've probably listened to that Earl Nightingale recording a few thousand times over several years. I played those records over and over. It's the repetition of an idea that makes the difference. I have a book stand on my table that holds a book open. Why? In 1966, I arranged a meeting with Earl Nightingale. I got an hour of his time. When I was talking with Earl, I saw this on his table. I asked, "Earl, what is that?" He said, "It's a book stand." I asked what it was for. He said, "I keep the pages open so I can read them." I said, "If you want to go to the next page, you're going to have to keep moving these things. Isn't that a bit of a bother?" He said, "I don't want to go to the next page. I stay on this page until I see that I'm doing what it talks about." He said, "I keep reading this until I see myself doing what it talks about." On that specific page, we were talking about the Wright brothers. We know they were the first two bicycle mechanics who got the first plane in the air. The lesson to remember is, current aviation is a triumph of principle over precedent, of working an idea through to its logical conclusion despite the accumulated testimony of all past experience to the contrary. And with such a remarkable example before us, can we say it's useless to ask if by the same method we cannot unlock even more important secrets? Everyone said the plane couldn't fly. All the experts said it was heavier than air. And everything that is heavier than air is attracted to the center of the earth. That was what was believed. But if we keep doing that, couldn't we, by the same method, unlock even more important secrets? If we keep thinking about how we can go further, our imagination will take us there. When you move to a higher frequency, you will communicate with a world that is totally strange and beyond the reach of your five senses. This is where people will think you've gone crazy. They'll think, "He thinks he can become a millionaire, and he's broke." That was exactly where I was. I thought I could become a millionaire, and I was broke. Do you know why it worked? Because Ray Stanford kept telling me, "Keep doing that, Bob, you can do it." And then Lanval Wonderwell, after I succeeded, kept telling me, "You can go further, there is so much more you can learn." You are dealing with a world that is totally strange and beyond the reach of your five senses. You are dealing with imagination and intuition. You are not following what you see, hear, smell, touch, or taste. You are going to move to the highest frequency, and when you do that, your world will change. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backward. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. In other words, you can't see what you need to do to get there. You just have to believe that you can get there. And when you believe, strange things happen. The path will be shown. When you get there, you'll say, "Heck, I could have gone even further." And you're right. There is no end to where you can go. Absolutely no end. So don't hold back. Understand that there is a place, and you say, "I would really love to go there." Realize that there is a place. Everything I have shared with you today is not theory. It's the practical application of natural laws that govern wealth creation. I have used these principles to transform my life, from someone who was broken without direction to a person who built a multi-million-pound empire. The most powerful secret I can leave you with is this: your mind is your workshop, and when you learn to use it correctly, you can create any financial reality you desire. It's not about external circumstances. It's not about the economy or the market. It's about harmonizing your mental energy with the frequency of what you want. The next step of your journey awaits you. Please click on the video that appears on your screen now, because what I'm going to share there will help you take an additional step in your financial transformation. Every insight you absorb makes you a better person than you were before. Thank you for allowing me to share these teachings with you. I look forward to seeing you in the next video to continue this transformative journey together, so you can become 1% better than you are today. I wish you all good health and great success.